Hello, beautiful learners. Hope you're doing great, and I'm also good by the grace of Almighty. So it's our day 29, and in this lesson we're going to practice IELTS listening practice test with answers and proper explanation. So before going to start our class, I just need to check out the sound quality, whether it's good or not good. Okay. So just give me a few seconds to check out the sound quality.
Section 1. You will hear part of a telephone conversation between a student and the director of a theatre school. First, you will have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
And could you tell me a little bit about the history of the school?
Of course.
Okay, I hope you got that audio track as well as my vocal. So let's move on to listen the audio track. Okay, so here's the first instruction for us. So let's read it. No more than 3 words. 3 words for each answer. Okay, so let's highlight some keyword for question number 1. Okay, before going to start our class there, let's look at the sample one that is been done for us. Okay, let's listen it. Established in 1924. It's a sample one and the answer of the sample one. Let's listen it.
Rosemary Theatre School was established in 1924 and has gone from strength to strength since. It's now the largest school of its kind in the United Kingdom.
The theatre was established in 1924, so you write 1924 in the space provided. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer.
Okay, I hope you got the sample one. Okay, so let's move on to listen the first question. Okay, 1950 awarded His Majesty's, His Majesty's blah. Let's listen it.
Answer questions 1 to 5.
And could you tell me a little bit about the history of the school?
Of course. Rosemary Theatre School was established in 1924 and has gone from strength to strength since. It's now the largest school of its kind in the United Kingdom.
I see.
Yes, and did you know we were awarded His Majesty's Certificate of Excellence in 1950? That was perhaps our proudest moment.
Majesty's Certificate of Excellence. So the answer would be Certificate of Excellence. Certificate of Excellence. Excellence. Okay, as he was saying, yes, indeed, you know, we are awarded His Majesty's Certificate of Excellence. Okay, so that's why it will be the answer. Now let's listen it for question number 2. In 1975, let's highlight this one and blah blah. Amblesides schools of dance became the largest. So let's listen it.
Very impressive. And in more recent times?
Well, a lot has changed. I hardly recognise the school anymore from when I first became a teacher, almost 40 years ago. But those changes were absolutely necessary if the school was to remain at the cutting edge of performance arts.
Didn't the theatre used to be located on Bridgeway?
That's right. But then the Ambleside School of Dance merged with us, and we moved to new buildings to accommodate the greater number of students we'd have to teach.
Okay, so merged with would be the okay would be the answer. Merged with would be the answer. Let me explain it to you. As you, the lady was asking, did the theater used to be located on Bridgeway? And the man was saying, that's right, but then the Ambleside schools of dance merged with us, and we moved to a new building. Okay, so that's what the answer would be, merged to merged with. Okay, let's listen for question number 3. Okay, the largest, we need to the largest blah blah school in the country. Let's listen it.
Is that when you became the largest performance arts school in the country?
Yes, our school and its reputation grew and grew.
Okay, she was asking that, is that when you became the largest performance arts school in the country? So the answer would be performance arts, or performance arts. Okay, let's listen for question number 4. 1993 founder Rosemary Elizabeth English blah blah. Rosemary Elizabeth. Okay,
Grew. Then in 1993, another change was forced on us when our founder and school director for nearly 70 years, Rosemary Elizabeth English, passed away at the right.
passed away would be the answer. Okay, passed away. Let me explain to you. As she was saying, and school director for nearly 70 years, Rosemary Elizabeth English, passed away. Okay, so passed away would be the answer. Now, her blah blah was for the school to become a charitable trust. Let's listen. Okay, let's highlight also this one. Or something maybe.
Ripe old age of 103. Her dying wish was the school would one day be registered as a charitable trust.
Did she get...
Okay, so the answer would be dying wish. As you already heard that, I think. Let me explain it to you, though didn't get the answer yet. As she was saying, her dying wish was that the school would one day be registered as the charitable trust. So her dying wish would be the answer. Now let's listen for the next one. Here is another instruction for us: no more than 2 words and a number for each answer. Okay. Where is question number 6? Okay, experience. Let's highlight experience with a local drama club. Let's listen it.
Thank you so much. This information is just what I need for my school project.
Oh, glad to be of help, Maeve. You mentioned you were quite passionate about theatre and music yourself.
I love them to bits. Excuse me, very much.
Have you ever considered applying to become a student at our school?
I don't suppose I have. I never thought I'd be good enough.
Well, tell you what, why don't you tell me a little bit about your background? I'll fill out an application form for you over the phone, and we can just see what happens after that. What do you think?
Wow, that would be great.
Okay, let's go through the first few pages then, shall we? I have your name and age. Tell me about your past experience in performance arts.
Well, I'm a member of my local drama club and have toured with it around the country. I've also been going to acting classes since I was about...
Okay, so the answer would be toured. Okay, T-O-U-R-E-D, toured. Let me explain it to you. As she was saying, well, I'm member of local drama club and have toured with it. So she said that she toured with local drama club. So toured would be the answer. Okay, now let's listen for question number 7. Okay, classes attended since the age of 3.
I've toured with it around the country. I've also been going to acting classes since I was about 3 years old.
Marvellous.
Okay, so I hope you got the answer. Acting class. Okay, acting would be the answer. Let me explain it to you. As she was saying, okay, here's the two answers we already listened in a row. Let me explain to you the whole sentence. As she was saying, I'm a member of local drama club and have toured with it around the country. And then she was saying, I've also been going to acting classes since I was about 3 years old. So that's the answer, the acting classes, as she was talking about. Now let's listen it for question number 8. School's productions of Macbeth, Hamlet. Okay, so let's highlight blah blah. School production of Macbeth, Hamlet. Let's highlight this one and let's listen it.
Anything else?
Well, each year at school we do a school production of a Shakespearean play.
Very nice. Did you act in some of them?
No, I directed them. I did The Merchant of Venice, Macbeth, Hamlet, you know.
Have you not acted?
Okay, so the answer would be directed. Directed. Let me explain to you. As she was saying, as the man was asking, very nice. Did you act in some then? And she was saying, no, I directed them. I did the Merchant of Venice, Macbeth. So that's why, as she was saying, that she directed them. So the answer will be directed. Now let's listen for the next one. Achievement. Let's highlight this one. Blah blah. Piano with the Royal Academy of Music. Let's listen. Let's highlight this one and let's listen it.
Is it all then?
Not recently. I used to a lot when I was younger.
Interesting. And which route would you prefer to go down? The acting or directing one?
Maybe both.
How ambitious. Now, any achievements of note?
Well, I got the grade 8 on the piano.
Okay, grade 8 would be the answer. G-O-A-D-A, grade 8. Let me explain it to you. As she was saying, the man was asking how ambitious. Okay, now any achievement of note, and she was replying that, well, I got the grade 8 on the piano. So grade 8 would be the answer. Okay, now let's listen it for the remaining one and the last one for part 1. Okay, let's listen this and let's highlight some code for this question. National certificate in blah blah from Trinity College. Let's highlight. Okay, let's listen it.
Was that certified, mate?
Yes, by the Royal Academy.
Great. Anything else?
Well, yes, I did do a course in modern dance at Trinity and I'm currently studying ballet at Chelmsford College.
Okay, so I hope you got the answer. The answer would be modern dance. Modern dance, as she was saying, as the man was asking anything else, and she was saying, yes, I did. I did do a course in modern dance at the Trinity, and I'm currently studying uh, ball ballet in Cheshmeput College. Okay, so that's what the answer would be, modern dance. Now that's all about part one. Let's listen for part two. Okay, here we can see a map. We have to solve this. Okay, let's read them all. We can see, write the correct letter A to H next to question 11 to 16. Okay, give me a few sec. I need to drink water because I'm thirsty. Thank you for your patience. Let's move on. Okay, we can see the name of this map is Edelwon Place Palace Estate. Okay, now here we can see a lot of options like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Let's okay. Oh. Okay, here we can see the option F, H, G, A, B, C, E, D, and gallery, residence of the guards, archy-range, golf club, observatory, botanical garden. Okay, what should, oh no. Okay, we need to check this letter to the box. Okay, let's listen it. I just need to zoom out this one so that I can understand everything. So okay, it's two. Let's highlight it more a little bit. Okay, let's listen it.
That's the end of section 1. You have half a minute to check your answers. Section 2. You will hear a tour guide talking to some tourists. First, you will have time to look at questions 11 to 16. It's 11 to 16. Hello and welcome to Edelwon Palace Estate. The map I'm just handing out. There you go. You're welcome. Please pass the rest of those around for me, would you? Thanks ever so much. Now, where was I? Yes. The map James was kind enough to pass around shows the entire grounds of the estate. The bus is parked just here at the entrance gate to the estate, where the two guards are standing either side. See? We'll make our way in on foot, as no public vehicles are allowed beyond this point. We're going to head straight up the main road towards the palace itself, and on our way there, we'll stop to have a look around the gallery. which is about halfway up. You see it there on your map, I'm sure.
Okay, so I think we should select option C for gallery. As we can see, it's gallery as he was talking about. So C would be the answer. Where is C? Okay, let me explain to you. Okay, so he was saying we're going to head as she was saying first what the two gardens are standing either side C. We all our way in the foot as no public vehicle are allowed by this point. We are going to head straight up the main road. So this is the main road. Okay, this is the main road, and he was saying uh, the palace itself, and on our way there we uh, stop to have a look around the gallery, which is about halfway off. So halfway off means it can be seen. Okay, now let's listen it for the next one. Next we can see residence of the garden. Let's listen it.
Sure. Then onwards to the palace, and we'll watch the changing of the guards. As the off-duty guardsmen make their way back to the residence of the guards, so too will we, by following the road just right of the palace on your map. The residence is on the corner, just before you come to the maze.
Okay, I hope you got the answer. So H I think I should select. Okay, for residence of garden. H, where is H? Okay, got it. Let me explain it to you. As he was saying, by following the road just right of the palace. So just right of the palace, as he was saying, just right of the palace on your map, the residence is on the corner. So on the corner you can see this one. Okay, on the right side, and the right side, and the corner. Okay, and corner is just before you come to the maze. Okay, so this is maybe maze, and I'm just confirm that he was talking about like right side of the corner. So this would be the answer exactly. So let's listen it for question number 13. Okay, archery range. Archery range. Let's listen for this one. Okay.
We're privileged in that the guards have kindly opened up their doors to us so we can get an insight into how they live. After we spend about half an hour there, it's off to the maze we go, where we might spend a good deal longer. Well, where some of us might anyway. Opposite the maze, on the other side of the road, down a lane leading off the main road, is a delightful animal sanctuary. Oh, I do beg your pardon. That's not the animal sanctuary at all, but the archery range, yes.
Okay, don't be confused, as he was talking about like animal sanctuary, but then he was lastly he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but it's but the archery range." So we should select for this one, I think, option Z. Okay, where is G? I can't see. Okay, I got it. Let me explain to you. As he was saying, opposite of the maze. Opposite of the maze. I think this one is maze. So opposite of the maze, um, on the other side of the road. On the other side of the road. Okay. So this is the road, and the other side of the road is this one, I think. And he was also saying, um, down a lane leading up the main road is delightful animal sensory. Oh, he was saying, oh, I beg your pardon. That's not the animal sensory, but that archery range. So he was talking about this one. So that's why I chose this one. Okay. Now let's listen for the next one. Golf club. Okay. Let's listen it for question number 14.
The archery range, and we'll stop there next. Most of the sports and activities are on the other side of the estate. See, you have river fishing, the cricket pitch, and the golf course over there. That's the golf club, by the way, at the end of the lane. We'll be lunching there.
Okay, so he was talking about like a lot of things. So we just need to uh, be mindful when we are listening the audio track. So he was saying like most of the sports and activities are on the other side. So we are just this side, and he was talking about on the other side most of the sports are there. So we need to come this side. Okay, so let's look, and as he was saying, let me explain it to you what he was saying. So now we are in this side. Okay, as he was saying, the other side of the is sea, and he was saying, see, you have river fishing, you have river fishing, the cricket pitch, and so where is cricket pitch? I think so. River fishing, this one, and cricket pitch would be this one. Yes, this one. And he was saying also the cricket pitch and the golf course over there. So golf course may be there here. So let me explain it. Then what he was saying, and then he was saying that's golf club, by the way, at the end of the land. So at the end of the land, I can find this one, A, end of the land. So we can see this is the end of the land. Okay, this is the end of the road or land, whatever you say. So it would be option A. Let's select option A. And now let's listen for a question about observatory. Okay, observatory. Let's listen this.
A little later this afternoon. It's a beautiful area overlooking the forest and lake, and you can see the golf course itself right beside it. But back to the archery range now, and on from there, we'll be stopping off at the observatory, which is more than 100 years old. It's on the way back to the main gate just after the animal sanctuary. Yes.
Just after the animal sanctuary, and he was saying the main he was saying the observatory which is more than 100 years old. It's on the way back to the main gate, on the way back to the main gate. And he was saying also, also it's on the way back to the main gate just after the animal sanctuary. So animal sanctuary, so I think it should be option E. Okay, let me select option E. Okay, where we can see it's animal sanctuary, and he was saying it's way back on the main gate. So it's main gate way back here, main gate, and he was saying it's on the way back to the main gate just after the animal sanctuary, just after animal sanctuary. So here we maybe some people choose this or this one B, because it's also close to main gate, but he was saying that it's after the animal sensory. So here we can't see any animals or like something else, but here we can see maybe it's deer. Okay, but what should I say, like a bird. Okay, so here animals, so this is more accurate, I think, and that I will selected. Okay, now let's listen it for the next one. Botanical garden. Okay, let's listen it for this one.
There's the animal sanctuary and the birds of prey exhibit, which is unfortunately closed at present. We might take in the animal sanctuary after lunch if we've time, but I think we'll avoid the petting zoo, which is up that lane towards where the deer graze. Now, on our way to lunch at the golf club, we'll cross over the main road to the opposite side to the observatory and visit the botanical gardens.
So option B would be the answer, I think. Okay, let me explain to you again. As he was saying, now on our way to lunch at the golf club, we cross about the main road. So this is the main road. Okay, this is the main road. This is the main road, and he was saying, main road to the opposite side to the observatory, and so this was observatory. Opposite was this one. Okay, and he was saying, and visit the botanical garden. So this would be the answer. I hope you got it right now. So let's zoom in and let's move on to the next. Yeah, okay, let's read them. Now we are going to solve question number 17 to 20, and let's read it. Write the correct letter A, B, or C next to question number 17 to 20. Okay, you may use only letter more than once. Okay, the following state activities are specially suited to which type of person? Okay, someone at beginner level, someone who has played before to a reasonable level, someone who is keen to uh, unwind on the sidelines. Okay, par 3 golf, pitch and putt, cricket, fishing. Let's read them. Let's listen it.
Now listen and answer questions 17 to 20. Now, after lunch, you'll have a choice of activities. Should you want to play golf, there's the 9-hole par 3 course, which is good for intermediate players who have some experience. But
Okay, so let me say as what he was saying. He was saying to play golf there is the 9-hole par 3 course, which is good intermediate players who have some experience. So some who has played before to reasonable level. So I think it would be option B. Okay, because he was like saying who had some experience. Okay, let's listen it for question number 18, pitch and putt.
strongly recommend the pitch and putt course for the complete novices among you. If golf isn't your...
Okay, he was saying about pitch and putt like that. I strongly recommend the pitch and putt course for the complete novice among you. So it would be option A, and that I really want to select, because someone at beginner's level, as he was saying, I strongly recommend pitch and putt course for the complete novice among you. Novice means like someone is new. Okay, that's why it would be option A. Let's listen for cricket.
or cup of tea, you could partake in a game of cricket. Designed for people of all fitness and ability levels, our cricket matches are all about fun and having a good time. Please don't take it too seriously. I guarantee first-timers will love it.
So first timer will love it means it's also all about beginners. So we need to select obviously again option A. Okay, let's listen for question number fishing.
For those of you who just want to relax and let the world pass you by, you can come fly fishing with our expert fisherman, John, though only if you have been fishing before. And
Okay, so I should select option C, and let me explain to you. As we were saying, for those who you just want to relax and let the world pass you by, you can come fly fishing with our expert fisherman John 2 only if you have been fishing before. So you need to be expert. Okay, so this one says like someone who is been unwind on the sideline. So unwind mean expert. Okay, or you worked with it before. That's why I selected this one. So that's all about our part 2. Now let's jump into part 3. So here's another instruction for us. Label the diagram below. Write the correct letter A to D next to question number 21 to 26. Okay, you may use any letter more than once. The car repair department, the car balloting department, the car sales department, the motorcycle departments. So here we can see we have 4 options. Okay, net profit by department for Y/E 31st December 2011. Okay, here we can see thousands found like 1,500 pound, 1,000 pound and 500 pound. Okay, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, breakdown of cost, marketing expenditures. Okay, let's listen it. Let's zoom out. Oh, sorry, zoom out. Yes, zoom out this one. Okay, let's listen it.
depending on how long we spend doing activities, as I said before, we may or may not have time to visit the animal sanctuary after lunch too. For those of you who are less now, listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Did you have a chance to look at that case study yet?
Yes, I had a read over the data last night, and you?
I had a close look at it and I made some notes, actually.
John, are you feeling okay? It's unlike you to be such a conscientious student.
Ha ha, very funny. I think it's an interesting project, and I'm not going to pretend I don't enjoy researching something when I do.
Well then, John, in that case, let's start with you. What conclusions did you draw?
Well, it's obvious for a start that both the departments responsible for car sales and car repair are struggling.
Really? But surely the motorcycle department, which made, after all, the least profit, is faring worse than any other.
No, Lisa.
Okay, so for question number 21, I need to select option D. Let me explain to you. As he was saying, surely motorcycle surely motorcycle departments which made after all the least profit is faring worse than any other. Okay, so let's listen it for the next one.
So, you're not taking into account last year's figures. Both the car sales and the car repair departments have seen their profits halve, while motorcycle profits, on the other hand, have remained steady and may even have improved slightly. The fact that car sales generated around $1 million in profits is neither here nor there, if you ask me. That department performed the most poorly, relatively speaking.
Yes.
Okay, for question number 22, I need to select option C. Let me explain it to you. Okay, as he was saying, the fact that the car sales weren't generated at around $1 million in profit is neither here nor there. If you ask me, the department performed the most poorly, related speaking. Okay, now let's listen it for the next one.
Yes, but it still brought in a huge amount of profit, as did the car valeting department.
I completely agree.
Okay, so for question number 33, I need to select. Okay, we are out of time. Let me submit this one.
Section.
Okay, I need to select each option one more time because we are out of time. Just give me a few seconds. Okay, for question number 11, it was option C. For question number 12, it was H. What is H? For question number 13, it was G. For question number 14, it was A. Question number 15, it was E. Question number 16, it was B. Okay, so it was B. I need to select B again. It was A. Oh no, it was A. I need to select A again. It's B. It's A. It's C. I need to select it. C again. Okay, now what is 8? It's D. It's C. I need to select C. Okay, now so let's listen it for question number 23. I just forgot this one. I need to listen it one more time.
Now listen carefully and answer.
Car valeting department.
I completely agree with you on that last point. Ing had a good year this time out, just mentioned.
You say, though, the bottom line is that the car repair department was still the most profitable.
True, very true. That's just quite a sharp drop from 3 million.
I think it's something to do with the breakdown of costs. For example, take the motorcycle department. Look at how high its fixed costs are, almost 75%. That's a formula for a steady, predictable and manageable business model with stable income and profits. On the other hand, car repair had huge variable costs and relatively low fixed costs, accounting for huge stable income. That's a formula for its fixed costs are. Wait for a minute.
Into just over 1.5, wouldn't you say?
Of course,
It's a sharp drop.
was still the most. Either of you say, though, The bottom line is that the car repair department was still the most profitable.
True, very true. That's just quite a sharp drop from 3 million to just over 1.5, wouldn't you say?
Of course, but let's look at why for a minute. I think it's something to do with the breakdown.
That's
The car repair, irrespective of what either.
presented an increase of 100% margins. Good year this time. 1.5 million is not. Completely agree with you on that last point. A profit of just under 1.5 million is not to be sniffed at.
Okay, so he was saying, I completely agree with you on that last point. A profit of just under 1.5 million is not be snipped at parenting. So I will select B for this one. Okay, now let's listen for question number 24, what they say. Okay, so here you can see it's question number 24. Let's listen it.
Balancing had a good year this time out. Not to mention the fact that, due to widening margins, the profit figure I just mentioned represented an increase of 100% on the year before's.
Irrespective of what either of you say, though, the bottom line is that the car repair department was still the most profitable.
True, very true.
So most profitable is, as you were saying, repair department. So where is repair department? I need to select repair, so it would be option A. Okay, sorry, option A, not this one. Okay, let's listen for question number 25. Where is 25? Okay, here we can see it's 25 and 26. Let's listen it.
That's just quite a sharp drop from 3 million to just over 1.5, wouldn't you say?
Of course, but let's look at why for a minute. I think it's something to do with the breakdown of costs. For example, take the motorcycle department. Look at how high its fixed costs are, almost 75%. That's a formula for a steady, predictable and manageable business model with stable income and profits. On the other hand, car repair had huge variable costs and relatively low fixed costs, accounting for only about 25% of its total costs incurred.
And that's a recipe for
So
unpredictable.
25%. Okay, so he was saying car repair had huge billable cost and relatively low fixed cost, accounting for only about 25% of total cost incurred. So I chose option A again. Okay, it's already selected. Now let's listen for question number 26. Okay, for this one.
Predictability, which explains the dramatic fall in profits. The car repair department has got to reduce its variable costs and increase its fixed costs if it's to start posting consistent returns.
I see what you're saying there, and I completely agree. But what about the car sales department? What explains the fall in profits it experienced?
Look at the marketing expenditure. It spent most of its marketing budget in the last quarter. That means the effects of the marketing push might not be felt until the next year. So maybe the figures are a little misleading. And perhaps that's why car valeting did so well. Its marketing department spent most of its budget in the first 2 quarters, so sales and profits were noticeably up for the rest. Of the year. The quarters, well, figures are a little missing push, might not be felt until the next year. The effects of the marketing push might not be felt until the next year. So maybe the figures are a little misleading. And perhaps that's why car valeting did so well. Its marketing department spent most of its budget in the first 2 quarters, so sales and profits were noticeably up for the rest of the year.
So it would be option B, as let me explain it to you as he was saying, and perhaps that's why car balancing did so well. Its marketing department spent most of the budget in the first two quarter. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, here's the another question we need to select. Okay, question number 27 to 28. Two question here. Choose two letters A to E. Which two strong points? Two strong points. Let's highlight of the car balloting department are discussed. Car balloting are discussed. Let's highlight. Low fixed cost, high profit margin, low cost of equipment, maintenance, business not affected by economic condition, low variable costs. So let's listen it.
The question is, will car valeting continue to perform so well into the new year?
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look. Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
I think there are several factors to consider when trying to answer the question. 1. Can it keep its variable cost low? 2. Is the economic recovery going to continue? And 3. Is the cost of equipment maintenance going to rise?
In answer to your first question, yes, I believe that is one of the key strengths of the car valeting department. Variable costs are low and fixed costs are predictable in this market, and that is not going to change.
So here's saying billable cost are low and fixed costs are predictable in this market, and that is not going to change. So option high points margin and you're saying variable costs low and fixed costs are predictable in this market, and that is not going to change. So I think it would be option E, low variable, as he was talking about. Okay, now let's listen it for question about another remaining option. Okay,
Furthermore, the margin is high, which makes valeting a very profitable activity.
so he was talking about margin, so it would be option B, because he was saying the margin is high, which makes balancing a very profitable activity. So B and E would be the answer. Okay, let's move to the next one. 2. Okay, for question number 29 to 30, again we have to choose two letters from these options. Okay, so which two areas do the student think the company should invest its profit in? The company should invest its profit in. Let's highlight it. Okay, the motorcycle department, the car balloting department, the car sales department, the car repair departments, giving shareholders a return on investment. Let's listen it.
As for whether the economic recovery will continue, though, that's an important question to ask. I mean, people don't valet their cars as often when times are tough, so this is one of the department's greatest weaknesses. It's hard hit every time the economy goes through a rough patch.
I agree with you, and I also think there is going to be an issue with equipment maintenance and replacement. Remember, this side of the business is only 2 years old, and most of the machinery and equipment was purchased new. That means there were unlikely to be large repair and maintenance bills for the first while, but as the machinery gets older, these costs are only going to increase. I think car valeting will struggle to be as profitable next year for that reason.
Another question to ask is what to do with the profits. Should the company reward its shareholders or reinvest?
I think the profits should be ploughed back into the company to help it continue to grow. I would invest in the motorcycle department, as the company hasn't established itself in this market yet.
Agreed.
Okay, so option A would be the answer as already selected. She was saying I would invest in motorcycle department as the company hasn't established itself in this market yet. Okay, let's listen for the remaining one.
Yes, but it shouldn't put all its eggs in one basket.
So where else do you suggest the investment should go?
I would expand the car valeting business. The margins are...
Car balloting business. So I choose option B because he was saying I would expand the car balloting business. So that's why I chose this one. So that's all about part 2. Now let's jump into part 3. So here's another map I need to select. I'm really afraid of map because they're not complex, but they require a great or best attention when you are listening it. Okay, write no more than 2 words for each answer. And we can see Great Pyramid. Question number 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay. Let's listen it.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40. Thank you for coming along today. Archaeology has been my life's work, and it is an honor to be able to share that which I love with the wider public, and to hopefully instill a similar passion in some of you here today, and who knows, maybe inspire the next generation of archaeologists. Now, if you have researched my background, you will know that for most of my career I have worked in Egypt. So, unsurprisingly, it is a little bit of Egyptian magic that I want to share with you today. Look at the screen above me here. What you see is one of the most awe-inspiring sights in the world. It is, of course, the Great Pyramid of Giza, or at least a diagram thereof. Let me first take you on a little walk through the pyramid to show you what it contains. Leading down the passageway from the entrance takes you to the subterranean chamber. Now, for any of you taking notes, let me spell that. Subterranean. S-U-B-T-E-R-R-A-N-E-A-N. Spelling has always been a weakness of mine, too, so never mind. Now.
Okay, so he was saying letting down the passway from the entrance. So it's the entrance. Where is my cursor? Okay, it's entrance. Pass away, passageway from the entrance take you to the subterranean chamber. So, and he was spelling that I wrote that subterranean chamber. Okay, chamber is missing. I need to write this chamber. Chamber. Okay. Now let's listen it for the next one.
No one really knows what this was meant to be, but some speculate the king may have originally built this burial tomb here and then changed his mind. If we wander back up towards the entranceway and then take 2 lefts, we find ourselves in another chamber, almost directly above the subterranean one. This is called the Queen's Chamber.
So as he was talking about this one, and it's the Queen's Chamber. So let's write it. Q U Queen's Chamber. So let me explain it to you. He was saying we find ourselves in another chamber almost direct above, so direct above this one, and he was saying the subterranean one. So this was subterranean one, and directly above he was talking about this one. Okay, this is called the Queen's Chamber. So this is Queen's Chamber. Okay, let's listen for the next one. I mean number 33.
But not as its name suggests, because it was the burial place of the Queen. In fact, many Egyptologists believe this chamber housed the pharaoh's spirit. If we wander back out of the Queen's chamber, we re-enter the main passageway in an area where it gets considerably wider. This widened passage is the Grand Gallery, thought to have been built as a glorious
Okay, so he was talking about Grand Gallery, and this is this one. Okay, so it's like he's talking about it serially. So this would be the Grand Gallery. Let me explain it first. Just give me a few seconds to write down, and then I will explain it to you. Okay, so Grand Grand Gallery, Gallery. He was saying if we wander means if you walk, like, okay, if we wander back out the Queen's Chamber, back out. So if we wander back out, we need to go like from here to here. So back out, it's a back step. Okay, so we came here and then we now think we are here. Okay, and let's listen what he was saying. He was saying it then. He was saying we re-enter the main passway. So we re-enter main passway. So this is the main passway, and he was saying where it gets considerably wider. So it's wider here. Okay, it's wider. This widened pass is the Grand Gallery. So it's Grand Gallery as he was talking about. Okay, that's I already wrote. Now let's listen for the question number 34. So here 34 is maybe between, he was talking about this and this. Okay, let's listen it.
entranceway to the king's tomb. Have any of you noticed the 3 smaller passageways here? Here and here. 2 of them leading out of the upper sections of the pyramid. These are not in fact passageways at all, but rather air shafts that were necessary to maintain.
So these would be air shafts. Okay, yeah, SHAFT shafts. Okay, let me explain it to you. As he was saying, have any of you noticed the 3 smaller passway? So 3 smaller passway, this one, and this one, black. Okay, this black 3 passway. he was talking about. And then let's listen what he was saying. Notice the three smaller passwords here, here, and here. Two of them leading out the upper section. Two of them are upper section. So he was talking about this one. Okay, these two. Upper section of the pyramid. So these two are on upper section of this pyramid here. Okay, as we can see. Then he was saying these are not in the fact passageways at all, but rather than air shafts. So these are air shafts. Okay, now let's listen for question number 35. Okay, the last one of this pyramid. Okay, let's listen it.
Supplied oxygen for slave workers as the building work was going on. Two of the air shafts lead into the signature room of the structure, the king's chamber. It was inside.
So it's like king's chamber. Okay, as he was talking about. So let me write king's chamber. King's chamber. Okay, now let's listen for question 36 and 36 to 40. Here is another instruction for us: no more than 3 words and a number for each answers. Okay. Okay. Limestone for build was found in blah blah. Let's say
this tower-shaped room that the pharaoh's body was laid to rest. Magnificent, isn't it? Such an amazing feat of engineering, and to think that it's more than 5,000 years old. It's hard for us today to appreciate just how much of an achievement it was to build a construction of this kind so long ago. But to put it in perspective a little, bear in mind that the Egyptians had no motorized equipment, no computers to make difficult calculations as to the structural integrity of the building, no lorries or trucks to transport building materials, etc. They relied to a large extent on handheld tools and the harnessed power of animals, and indeed other human beings, namely their slaves. An estimated 2.3 million blocks of limestone are believed to have gone into the building. These giant slabs were, it is thought, sourced from nearby quarries. Some of the
nearby quarries would be the answer. Nearby quarries. QUARIES. Okay, now let's listen for question number 37. Great tine used in king chamber sourced from a town. Let's listen it.
Limestone used had to be transported across the Nile. But getting the limestone to the building site was a piece of cake compared to the task of transporting the estimated 80-ton granite slabs used in the king's chamber there. After all, these came from the town of Aswan, some 500 miles away. In total,
so 500 miles away the city. So 500 miles. What would be the answer? Okay, now let's listen for question number 38. Giant slabs of rock were cut by driving blah blah into them.
Well, it is believed that 8,000 tons of granite from Aswan, 5.5 million tons of limestone, and 500,000 tons of mortar were used in the construction. The ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians was demonstrated time and time again. In response to the challenge of having to somehow cut the giant slabs of limestone and granite, the Egyptians devised a novel method which involved hammering wooden wedges into the stone.
Okay, so wooden wedges would be the answer. Okay, wooden WEDGES. Okay, now let's listen it for question number 39. And in 14th century, blah blah compromised the stability of the stones. Let's highlight and let's listen it.
Water was then poured onto the wedges until they were completely soaked. As the wedges absorbed the water, they expanded, causing cracks to form in the rock as they did so, effectively cutting the slabs into pieces for the Egyptians. At completion of the main structure, white casing stones were added. Sadly, little evidence remains of these, and we can only imagine how beautiful the pyramid must have looked with this white facade adorning it. A massive earthquake which struck in AD 1300 loosened most of the outer casing stones, and these were removed at the wishes of the then ruler.
Okay, so a massive earthquake would be the answer, as she was saying. AWS by the massive earthquake. Earthquake. Okay, now let's listen for question number 40, the last one. Recent findings suggest assumption that blah blah was used may be incorrect. Let's listen to this.
Ruling Bahri Sultan, who wanted them reused to build mosques and fortresses in Cairo. In fact, many of the original casing stones can still be seen on structures around the city today. The precise manner in which the pyramid was constructed is still not known. Various theories suggest the huge slabs of stone were either pulled, dragged, lifted, or even rolled into place. Indeed, due to recent findings, some have also begun to question the notion that slave labor was used at all. This notion was first...
Okay, so slave labor would be the answer. SLAV, slave, POUR, labor would be the answer. Okay, as he was saying, indeed, due to the recent findings, some have also begun to question the notion that slave labor was used at all. So slave labor would be the answer. Okay, so that's all about today's lesson. Let's submit them together and let's check out how much we scored in this lesson. Okay, we got 9 out of 9 and we are correct 40 out of 40. Okay, no mistake today. That's a great for us. That's really a great inspiration. If we practice each day, and if we practice more and more time, or if we practice every day, I think it will help us a lot, okay, to gaining a great confidence. Okay, so see you in the next class. Bye for then. See you. Bye.